Good morning, everybody. Thought we'd start off with a shot from the Jack Cam today, since today is International Dog Day. At least that's what they tell me. So it's kind of hard to tell about dog days around here because every day is a good day for a dog day. Anyway, there's Jack's little few minutes of fame this morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Happy Thursday, or as some of you like to call it, Friday Eve. I tell you what, this year has just flown by. And, again, I rate everything by pre-heart attack, post-heart attack. But since I had the heart attack, especially now that I've gotten better, got a lot more energy and I'm doing more stuff, it just makes everything, the time go by that much quicker. It's like, wow. But anyway, glad y'all are here. This is the 376th coffee session for those of you who are keeping track. And let's go see who we got hanging out. Man, I appreciate the thumbs up, guys. Look at that, you guys. 13. We're just getting started here. See, you can be trained. I'm just kidding. All right, let's see who we got here. George, how you doing this morning? Good to see you. Mr. Larry Gall. Rain in the forecast next 3 days, and it's possible for a lot next week if the storm tracks more west. Yeah, I was watching a little bit of the weather, and Joanne was talking about a bunch of different storms that are forming. But I guess the one that she talked about the most, which it isn't officially a storm yet, so they haven't named it. But if it does become one, I guess it will be Ida. And it looks like it's heading, at least from the early projections, way west in the Gulf. So it's going to hit down around Mexico, tip of Texas, somewhere around in there, depending. At least that's the early stuff. So, yeah, you probably get a bunch more rain. Paul Stewart's here. Good morning, Paul. Thank you for the thumbs up, buddy. John Howard is here. How you doing, John? Good to see you here. Aaron Birds, good morning. Monroe Cook, good morning. John says, working on an ice machine today in Fishers, Indiana. Inside job, out of the heat. Thank God for small favors. Yeah, you want them inside jobs. I didn't even hit that thing. Started it and I didn't hit it. I looked down, my timer still says 30 minutes, so I'll hit it now, even though we're already 4 minutes in. Leo's here this morning. Good morning, Leo. Hope you have a great Thursday. Mr. Dennis Nolan. Another great hot day in Missouri. Yep. Clyde's here. Good morning, Clyde. Hope you're doing well. Steve Gronsky says, good morning from Mustang, Oklahoma. Thumbs up. Thank you, Steve. But I'm glad you're able to hang out with us in the coffee sessions. You've been absent a little bit, and we've missed you. Let's see. Darren says, yeah, the thumbs up working already. Yeah, you guys are getting pretty good at it. If I nag you enough, makes y'all remember. Bart Bixel's over there on Facebook. How you doing, Bart? My favorite solar man, Mr. Brian Ballard. How you doing, Ryan? I may want to borrow you again for another one of those lives. I've got something else I might try to do. I don't know if I'm going to make a live out of it or maybe just a little video. I don't know. Or I may not do it at all. Who knows? But, some of that CNC stuff. Kevin Ells, good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. Dave Mack says, morning. The rain will be back this afternoon. Out walking with Jax. Yeah. Yeah, I finally got out there and cut my grass the day before yesterday, even though I didn't want to because it was a gazillion degrees out. And then we got a bunch of rain yesterday. So you saw starting again. You got to cut it while you can. Uh, let's see. Paul says, with the Gatton CNC, what's the most common size people build? And do they use it all or just a smaller portion, not using its full potential? Well, I should probably do a poll. I'll tell you what, I'll do a poll in the Facebook group and ask that question and see what kind of answers we get. But just from what I see, when people post pictures and stuff like that, I'd probably make some people mad saying it. But I see people building way bigger than they need all the time. And then, the average project is, 12 by 12 or 12 by 18 or something like that. So that's my opinion. That's what I think they do. They might say different, but I know there's been a few people that have been honest and fessed up and said, yeah, I was one of those people that, didn't want to cut the lead screws, build a ginormous thing. And then I used the, 2 by 2 in the lower left-hand corner, and that's it. But then they got all that extra room to stack stuff, I guess. That's the other thing I noticed when people post pictures. You can always tell how much of their CNC they use because the rest of it will be full of crap. That lower left 2 foot by whatever will be clear, and all the rest of it will have tools and different things stacked on it. Just say. If I think about that, Paul, I'll put a poll in the thing, and then I'll share the results here on the coffee session. Brian Shorts here. Good morning, Brian. Good to see you this morning. Hey, there's Rick Morphew. How you doing, Rick? Good to see you. Well, they're on the Facebooks. David Burnett. Good morning, sir. Jim Senecola. One of my favorite Michiganders. That's how you say it, isn't it? Michiganders? I think it is. Ryan says you got it. All right. Probably be a shorter one than the last one. It'd be some of that laser beam stuff. Charles Steed says, morning, Dave and Jack. Good morning, Charles. And I'll say good morning for Jack because he's got where even though I have the fan blowing right down here behind me, so he could sit on the little fatigue mat that I have, he's got where he really likes that little porch I built out there. He hangs out right there on the steps out there. That way he can survey all of his kingdom. He likes sitting out there, which is why I built it. Yeah. Clyde says the delete key is ready. Yeah, well, maybe they'll stay away. Who knows? Troy Pritchard's here. Good morning, Troy. Thank you for the thumbs up. Clyde says he went with a 4x4. See, that's a pretty good size, I think. I really think. Well, if you look at how if you build it exactly to the plans, I tried to make it where it would not only be easy, but it wouldn't cost people a fortune to build one. And that's why I went with a half sheet of plywood as the table. Well, that makes you have, about 44 inches, I think, on the X, and what, 34, I think, on the Y. And I can see, because even when I did the build videos, even I didn't go by the plans. I made the build videos where I extended the X, but I did that because I knew I was going to be giving that machine away to my buddy Jim. And I thought, well, he might like to be able to put a 4x4, a 4-foot piece on there and still have room to clamp it down. So I don't know, you remember what it was. You guys probably know better than I do. I think it was like 56 wide or something like that. But I still did the half sheet going that way. So it's, 48 inches deep. So he gets about 34. And he's never run anything where I don't think he's ever even tiled. Just like most people, the projects he make all fit well within that little footprint or that work area. So, Doc Whitaker's here. Good morning, Doc. How you doing? Hope you are doing well. Jim went with a 4x4. See, there's one of them big guys, 60 by 60. How much of it do you use, Ronald? Do you use it all? What say you, Darren Birds? Do you use that? See, I've seen Dennis's videos. I know he don't. I haven't seen him run anything really super big on his. But I don't know. It's tempting to build a thing way bigger, but don't really need to. The first, well, I won't say the first because it wasn't the first by a long shot. But if you look through my old videos, my old videos, probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, especially right after I got this shop, and even before I got this shop, I would do YouTube videos where I'm making widgets or whatever, and you'd see my Sidewinder. And when I say Sidewinder, I'm not talking about this plywood shoestring budget thing. I'm talking about a real Sidewinder, the metal. And it had a cutting area of 40 by 26. That's it. 40 by 26. And I ran that machine and I still have it. It's set up in the other shop. When you don't have a big machine, you figure out ways to run projects that are bigger. You can still do it. Yeah, it's a little more work, but to me, it makes more sense to have a smaller machine. And on that rare occasion that you have to do something big, you figure out ways to make it by tiling or running a template and then using the template to actually make the parts you're wanting to do. To me, it makes more sense to have that. That way your machine's not big and in the way, than instead of making a great big machine where now you got to walk around it and it's taking up valuable shop space, but you only needed it for that one job, and maybe you'll get another job like that down the road. So, but I don't care. Build what you want. It's not my shop. I don't care. I don't care what you build. Ryan says, and on that rare occasion, you can rip your machine apart and add a second Z. Yeah. Now, what kind of crazy person would do that? Man, I'm telling you. Anyhow. And it says 24 by 30 was my largest piece. Yeah. And how many of those did you do? Just one? And see that piece, 24 by 30, that would have fit on my smallest machine that I had. Yeah. I built mine 61 by 68, so I could put a whole sheet of plywood on it. I have an extension on the end to keep the plywood level while I cut the front 4x4, then move the other to have, spin it around, I guess, or slide it through or whatever. Yeah, a lot of ways to do it. Another CNC question here. Let's see. Dave, would you please give me the distance from the center of your lathe spindle down to the tabletop? All right, now, just to clarify, because we've been talking about CNC stuff, are you talking about my rotary axis or are you talking about that lathe? And I'll answer the question regardless of which one you're talking about. I just want to be clear on which one you're asking about. Yeah. Charles has the shoestring for the smaller projects. Now, the shoestring budget machine, I did the whole video series back in 2014, 7 years ago. How to build a CNC router on a shoestring budget. And that machine, you built it and it is what it is. There was no, well, I guess if you really wanted to, you could do some CAD and make it bigger, smaller, stuff like that. But basically, if you build it to the plans, that was it. So I thought I was doing people a really good favor when I came up with the Gatton design and made it where, hey, you cut the width of the table so you can make it longer. And man, what a can of worms that opened up. Because now you got people building them, in my opinion, way too dang big. And they have a turtle for a CNC. But anyway. All right, let's get this question answered. Dennis says he's talking about my Nova. It's not a Chevy Nova, it's a Nova Comet 2. So let's see. He wants to know the distance from the center of my lathe spindle down to your tabletop. I'm building my bench today. Okay, let me grab a tape measure. The Nova has a 12-inch swing. So from the center of the spindle down to the bed of the lathe or the ways, that's right at 6 inches. But from my, let me grab a tape measure. Y'all entertain yourselves while I go back here and measure. I don't know if you can hear me from back here or not. Maybe you can. Okay, like I said, let me turn this mic. All right, maybe y'all can still hear me. Like I said, you got right at 6 inches from the bed to center of the spindle. And they say, Dennis, the rule of thumb is your lathe height, because a lot of the bigger lathes come with adjustable legs and, the little feet that screw in up or down to change the height. But they say that you should have the spindle. I'm going to see if I can do this right here. You should have the spindle about the height of your elbow when you're just standing there. So that's kind of what I went by. But I have since lowered mine just a little bit because I did take those rubber feet off and buy those bolts to bolt it directly to the lay stand. So I lost maybe an inch there. And I really think really wish I had mine a little higher. But I could always, cut some plywood spacers or something, and then make sure I get some longer bolts, because the bolts go all the way up under here, and then they're threaded into where the little rubber feet went. But anyway, so back to your question. It's 6 inches from there to there, and then we'll measure from here, and it's currently, without the rubber feet, it's 6.5 inches from here to here, so it would be 12.5. And I can't really. Yeah, it's best I can measure it. I can't get straight down because the motor's right there. But it's about 12 plus, probably pretty close to 12.5. From the top of the bench, the workbench, the table, whatever you want, lay stand, whatever you want to call that, to the center. Now, I'm a short guy. So if you're a taller guy, and sometimes it's hard to tell when you watch somebody in a video how tall. I remember when I started going to the woodworking shows, and people would meet me in person and go, "Oh man, I always thought you were taller." I'm like, no, I'm fatter, but I'm not taller. So, yeah. So kind of, get somebody to help you measure. Just stand there and measure what your elbow is, or maybe even a little higher. I like I said, I think, because I don't like bend over, and I really should probably cut some plywood spacers and get longer bolts and raise that up a little bit. But Dennis says, yes, I'm building mine from the center spindle to the floor. That is the elbow to the floor. Thank you. All right, you're welcome. Hope that helped. And I'm excited about, for those of you who don't know, he says it here, but he commented on one of my turning videos that he's wanting to get a lathe. So he got a Nova Comma 2 like that. Actually, you got a better one, because I'm sure the one you have is the newer one. So it'll already have the little digital readout thing right there, so you can see your RPM. They added it right where my finger is on that headstock, and you won't have to put a little thing like I did there. So yeah, I wish mine had, I don't know why they didn't think of that, because to me that's important to know how fast you're turning, because if you turn something and it does real well, you want to be able to look and go, yeah, okay, I turned that at 1,000 RPM or 1,200 or whatever. I just think it helps to know. And you're just, that other little thing they had on around the dial, it's a small, and plus being down low like that, you have to squat down, and I can't read it even hardly with my glasses. So, but anyhow, all right. So yeah, I'm anxious to see how you do with that lathe. And somebody else on here, I can't remember who it was. Somebody else was talking about, they're getting inspired watching my little crummy videos, turning stuff. And maybe it's just because I have a lot of fun. My projects aren't that, nothing fantastic about them. But man, I'm having the time of my life. I love turning. It's so much fun. Let's see. Yeah, Dennis says it does have the speed. Yeah, you'll love that. You'll love that. Yeah, Monroe says, I did a sign 6 foot 6 inches by 4 foot. I do not think I will do that again. Too much trouble on a 4x4, and it's very hard to find flat plywood. Yeah. Yeah. I would leave those great big jobs like that to the sign shops, the guys that make the big money, that have the, big 5x10 thermwoods and all that, with the vacuum tables and all that stuff. Somebody that asks somebody that's got, a little hobby machine to do something like that, it's going to be a pain in the butt. Coffee is really good this morning. So many of I know I'm almost done here. My time's almost up. But so many of my little stories I tell out here in the coffee session start out like this. Well, I was watching this YouTube video. That's the opening line. That's how they start out, because I have been watching a ton of videos. But I ran across something the other day, and you can watch a million YouTube videos and think you've seen everything, and then you run across some obscure video that just happened to pop up in my feed, and I was watching it, and the guy was kind of doing he had a small shop. It looked something narrow, like mine. I don't think it was a separate building like this, but it was narrow, probably a little corner under his basement, or in his basement, something like that. But anyways, he was showing, some of the fixtures and jigs and where he keeps things, to be organized and efficient, stuff like that. And then right towards the end of the video, he started talking about how he's really limited on room, and he always has problems with with his camera tripod, because no matter where you set it, it's always in the way. And I thought, yeah, they're always in the way, because the tripod, to have them stable, and you don't want them falling over, because you got a expensive camera on the other end. You got to have them legs kind of pulled way out to get them stable, and then it just gets crowded. But he panned up. He was doing the shop tour with his phone thing. I might as well cancel that. That's not going to be right anyway. But anyway, he panned up, and he showed how he handles his camera mount. And I'm thinking, why didn't I think of that? That's genius. But what he did is he just cut a piece of plywood into a circle. And he had, where the tripod, if you were to set it down on that piece of plywood, he's just got some slots cut. So he takes this tripod and, shortens up the legs, because all these tripod stands, they usually, you flip a thing and pull the leg out so far, and then you flip another one, pull it out another, 18 inches or so. But he just keeps all of those locked up, and then he just takes the whole thing and just sticks it on the slots. So the tripod's hanging upside down from his shop. And I thought, man, that's genius. Why didn't I think of that? And that way, when you go to take it down, you just grab it and move it, and then you can set it down somewhere else for another shot, right side up. So I thought, well, let me go check that out and see if that will actually work. I came out here with my tripod and my camera, and I held it up over there, and I'm like, yeah, that makes the height perfect. By the time it hangs down, the camera is about eye level, the microphone's about eye level, everything's perfect, and it's everything to hit the record button and all that is right there. Really simple, and it's not in the way. But then I thought, well, but is the video going to record upside down? And if it does, can I fix that? So I came out here yesterday and held it up there and turned the button on and recorded. And my viewfinder, I have a Canon T5i, Canon Rebel T5i, something like that. Had it several years. Anyway, my little viewfinder thing, you flip it out and then it also spins. And I found that because I have my auto rotate on, when I flip that viewfinder, if something's upside down, it automatically flips it so that I'm seeing it right side up. So I thought, okay, well, that's cool. So I'll be able to see exactly what I've got in the shot, and that should work out pretty good. So then I did it, hit the record button and recorded just a few seconds and stuff. And then I went inside and put the SD card in the computer and checked out the video. And of course, the video is upside down. But it's not a big deal because I actually use two different kinds of video editing software. On both of them, it's just a click of a button and you can flip it where that it can go from upside down to right side up. So pretty excited about that because now I'm going to make that thing. I got a piece of plywood right over there already marked out. I'm going to cut it up this morning and get that mounted, and hopefully I'll have a lot better camera angles because I built that one right back there where I took that tripod apart and I mounted a little arm that swings out, and that works pretty good. That's what I've been using so far, and the video that comes out this Saturday, that's what I used. But whenever I want to put something on this side, I have to set the tripod out there the other way, the normal way, and it's always in the way. So yeah, I just learned so much from watching YouTube videos, I'm telling you. Anyhow, I think my time is up. According to here, I'm running over a little bit, and I see my things popped up here. So we're going to get ready to get out of here. Hope everybody had has a good Thursday. And if you're not doing nothing tomorrow, you know where I'll be. Come on back. I notice we've had a big jump in subscribers here lately. And when I say big, I mean 3. Because we had 136 the other day. And now we're up to 139. Of course, those 3 may be trolls or something. I don't know. But anyhow. All right, let me get out of here. Y'all have an awesome day. I'll let you know how my little upside down tripod mount thing works. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm also going to get out here and start cutting up some segments, which is why I wanted to get that mount done first. I'm going to be using my new camera mount for the next video. So anyway, y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all tomorrow. And everybody stay cool because it's hot out there.